An important question to ask as a musician is why our audiences would want to come and see us, not just once, but again and again and again. Sure, it's the music, but there's more to it. It's the way performers connect, engage, and make you feel like you're part of something special. That's where customer service and customer experiences come in. Today, we'll explore 4 ways to elevate your audience connection, and we'll also talk about something even deeper, that it factor. And I'll tell you what, the it factor isn't magic, it's a skill. And if you can master it, you'll not only wow your audience, you'll keep them coming back show after show. Hello, everybody. My name's Jeff Price, and I'd like to welcome you to Intentional Musicianship. And in our show, we like to explore how to create unforgettable performances that really connect with your audience and leave a lasting impact. So as I stated, today we're diving into something every musician needs to understand: customer service versus customer experience and how it applies to us as musicians. It's really not just about the music you perform, even though that can be part of it in our programming. It's about that entire journey your audience goes on from the moment they enter the venue to the moment they leave. And this is different than, if you read Aubrey Bergauer's book and Run It Like a Business, it's fantastic. And she talks about a lot of business concepts, and she talks about that behind the scenes effort that's happening to support you as a musician, us as musicians, from that venue side, from that organizational side. But today, we're really going to look at it from the performer side and our responsibility. So we're going to talk about 4 key ways to improve your customer service as a performer and show how these small actions help build into a lasting customer experience. And then finally, we'll explore what I call the it factor, and that way that we can really connect with audiences in a way that feels effortless, genuine, but I tell you what, it's intentional. And so when I think of customer service and customer experience, I'm thinking of business stuff. And when you think of customer service, you're thinking of specific actions you take to directly support, interact with, or assist your audience in the same way as if you went to a fast food restaurant. It's about what you do for them in the moment to meet their needs, solve their problems, create a positive interaction. And so, you think of some basic examples of being just how you perform, but it really is how you welcome the audience, how you thank them for attending, how you guide and have that flow through the show and connect your pieces and have your transitions, how you acknowledge your audiences. And, it could be something as simple as resolving those on-the-spot issues gracefully, especially, if the microphones don't work or something unexpected happens. Basically, you're asking that question for the evening, for that performance: what did you do for your audience? But that customer experience is a little bit different. And this is the one we really want. We want to have an overall impression that builds your brand, builds your reputation, and that is based on every interaction before, during, and after the performance. That's why these businesses really focus on the overall customer experience, and why behind the scenes, Run It Like a Business, Aubrey Bergauer has many sections on how to build that customer experience for that site, for that organization. But we as musicians, I tell you what, it's underestimated how we can impact this, because we do it with our programming, we do this with our playing, but how you make that audience feel throughout their journey with you, during their time with you, both on stage and off, it's broader, and it encompasses a lot of different touch points that you have. And we love that term touch point because That's the way that you can really connect human to human, that emotional connection they felt during the performance. That ease of navigating through the event, those smooth transitions, clear communications, understanding how long a particular piece is going to go, what's going to happen, how that program is measured out in such a way just for that customer. And that lingering impression after meeting you, it's like at the end of the show, they feel like they've known you forever. That key question you really want to ask is, how did that audience feel as a result of everything you as a performer did on stage? And you can really think of things like a simplified analogy, like that customer service as the bricks and that customer experience as the house. Customer service is immediate and tangible, like the laying of those bricks. And that customer experience is laying that overall structure and making that impression of that house that people remember living in. So let's just start off with a couple simple things. This sort of came as an idea for a social media post, and I'm sort of just fleshing it out. There's lots of different ways that we can do this, but I wanted to highlight this after the communication episode. And I wanted to talk how we in the audience, not the venue, not the organization, but we as the performers on stage can really take action in this side of things. So the first thing in the section 1, we want to really thank our audience. I have a social media post on this, and we want to really welcome and thank our audience for coming. And this is where that customer service really begins. It's acknowledging the people who took time out of their day to come and see you perform. This isn't just polite. I mean, it's recognized people actually came to your event. It sets the tone for the entire show. There should be a real joy in your playing, a real sense of gratitude from the performers because you're so important that those members of the audience came to see you. So it allows you to consistently show gratitude through the show and make your audience feel valued. It builds that brand loyalty. You're always reminding your audience that you're here for them. You're making them understand that it's not about what you did on stage. It's that you had a gift to share with them. And, in the end, it's not the right notes. It's how you made them feel. People talk about that analogy when you're meeting people. How did you make that person feel? That's what you're going to remember. And I know as a bandmaster and many concerts over many years, I know I wanted to make sure that I said, thank you for being here tonight. I know you could be anywhere, but you chose to be here with us. And that means everything. That simple statement could shift the entire atmosphere and mood of the crowd. It can really get the attention of the crowd and put them in a framework to receive, knowing that I'm now going to be able to give. It wasn't just another show. It then became a moment that we could share together. And guess what? We go back to that town the next year, and people are back still talking about it, still buzzing about it. And these kind of things separate those average performances into memorable performances. And you're doing this, you're also bringing the sponsors and the hosts, the organization, you're bringing this into it too, because, this customer service leads to that customer experience, and we're humans. And that true expression of gratitude, you're not just setting the stage with great customer service, you're setting the stage for great customer experiences, great, amazing moments. So in section 2, we just wanted to talk about being human. And I oftentimes bring up eye contact and physical engagement. And I get it. There's different genres that maybe this lends itself to a little bit more. But there has to be a way from the stage to not just be focused on your stand. We have to figure out as humans how we can naturally move on stage, direct our attention on stage to others on stage with us. We can be collaborative, and then we can collaborate that next layer of customer service, showing your audience that you see them and you see their response, that you're present with them and you're connecting with them beyond the music. It's a real appreciation. I know in previous episodes, I've talked about that awkward moment that sometimes people feel like if you're not making eye contact when they're talking to you, and it can be disconcerting, disengaging. And that applies to our performances. And so as we're trying to put this in perspective of customer service, leading to those customer experience moments of our brand, we have to figure out how we can use these tools of our eye contact, facial expressions, and body language as tools for connection, connective instruments, so to speak. So imagine you're at a community event and your music is already great. But if you take those moments to look out to your audience, maybe you can assign different parts of the audience to different members of your ensemble. And maybe you switch, and in the music, you can sort of look to this part of the audience, try to connect with them. I get it, the stage lights are bright, but we can see you from the audience. And we can see those smiles. We can see that joy. That joy can be seen. I can't tell you how many times people come up to me after a concert and people will say, "You look different. You looked happy to be there. You looked engaging. You looked like you were having fun." And so as you program and as you perform within the norms of what you're doing, I think you can make this connection. You can lean into your emotions of the piece and make it memorable. You know, these small gestures tell the audience, I'm here with you. I'm not just for the moment of being on stage playing for myself. I'm actually connecting with you. So I wanted to insert this particular section because I was really thinking about something. And I wanted to talk for a second about it factor. And I know this might be a little odd to put it factor with customer service and customer experience. But I was thinking about this, and I think that the people that we meet that have that special it factor, when I analyze them and I try to think about this, they have this natural, unforgettable charisma, and they have an ability to connect naturally or authentically with their audience. The same way that someone enters a room and they command attention. Sure, it might be that they're extra tall or their hair is this particular way or they have a great outfit on. But, you know, this it factor is really about customer service and then taking it to that next level of customer experience. And it's practiced. And it's something that I think that, you know, if we take our musicianship and we put it into, you know, a recording and we're videoing ourselves and we take it to our tablets and our iPads and we're analyzing what we're seeing, that we can make real improvements on this part and we can really become more authentic on stage. And the more authentic we are on stage, I think that develops us into having this special it factor because we're able to allow ourselves to be ourselves on the stage in an amazing way. And let me give you an example of this. I went recently to a community choir performance. There were around 40 singers on stage and, you know, pretty nice show. But there was one young woman that stood out. And I kept being drawn to her as she sang, her expressions, her energy, the way she looked out to the audience. It made me feel like she was performing for me and the person to my left and the person to my right and the person behind me. We were special to her. And she embodied what I would call the it factor. Now, after the performance, we're all talking in the seats in this particular location. And I went up to one of the performers I knew and I asked her about the person singing next to her. And I asked her if she noticed what she was doing on stage. She had this natural connection that drew people in. And the first thing that my friend said, she said, she's new to the community choir, but she has musical theater training and she has such joy and passion and she wants to present it to people. And I'm letting you know that authenticity and that joy came through. And it served her well as an artist. And in some ways, that it factor is that customer service at the highest level, because it really does transform a good performance into an experience that we as the audience can't stop talking about. And it was funny. I was able to talk to her and I said, did you know that you're special? Do you know during that show, you drew me and the people around me into the performance? I really appreciated what you gave us tonight in everything that you did. Now, in that community event, and if you put her against the most world-class vocalist, I'm sure technically she might not have the true definition of what some people have as the it factor, where everything is in alignment and she's all perfect in everything. But I'm letting you know, the way she made me feel that night, the way she performed, that's what you want as a musician, with customer service at the highest level, leading to an amazing brand for that community choir, knowing that we in the audience will be taken care of and loved and nurtured in that show, and we're going to have a great time. So the next section, as I get back on track, so to speak, it's like sort of guiding that audience through the show. And this is just classic customer service where we're really providing clarity, ensuring that flow of the show that feels smooth and intentional. You're trying to think of it like you're on the road. You got a road map. You know, some of us can just trust the GPS on our phone to get wherever we go. But, you know, sometimes we really want to know what's going to happen before it happens. So, you know, it's like when you're in the air and you know turbulence is coming up, or they're going to have drink service or meal service, when you can stand and take a breaks, when you have to be in with a seatbelt. You know, those kind of things can really help us, especially if we have some apprehension or we're not practiced at something. I want to let you know about an audience. They don't know the program the way you do. They don't know the music as well as you do. So it's our job as performers, as a group, as an ensemble, to guide them. We need to share the stories behind the piece. We need to set expectations for what's coming. We need to make those transitions seamless. You know, I think we all love being behind the scenes and hearing the stories that go with pieces with quick anecdotes. What makes it special? And why did you put it on this show? Now, I get it. Sometimes in different genres, you might put it in the program notes. Love a great West Virginia Symphony concert that I went to. They happen to be in Parkersburg. They're based in Charleston, our state capital. But I went to Parkersburg to see them, and the program was great because it would have who the artist was, about who the artist, you know, the biography, what the piece was about, when the last time the orchestra played the piece. I love having the time for the piece. And that being put in a program allows you to not have to say it if you happen to be introverted or not have the gift of gab that way. And so there are a lot of different examples of how we can take this roadmap, put it into our programs. I also had another dear friend on social media. I mentioned her in another episode about encores, Amiko Edwards, and we were in a group for doing social media for the Fearless Artist Mastermind, and we were encouraging each other, and was amazed at some of her posts, and we were going back and forth, and she had a post of one of her programs and saying, this is the best program of all time. The best program of all time because it gave things the audiences wanted to know. It talked about the customer service. And because of all the things that happened with that program, it curated an amazing customer experience. In my final section, we're talking about that post-show engagement, building relationships. And so that's really where you as an artist can really build your brand and take that customer service and extend it beyond just the performance on stage and extend that connection beyond that performance. So you got to stay after the show, even for just a short amount of time. You got to talk to your audience every evening. You got to answer questions. You got to sign merchandise. If you're short on time, make sure to direct them to social media and make sure you have a dedicated time to connect with them. I remember a guy named Clay Cooper in Branson, Missouri. And if you meet him, he has a theater there. And he would always stay in the theater after the show. He'd get to know your name. He'd shake your hand. And he is a great memory trick to just connect with you and understand your name and who you are, why you were there. And he can make you feel like an old friend pretty quick. Now, the interesting thing about how great he is, it's not something that I can do. You can go back to a concert in 6 months or a year or 2 years, and you can go up to him and he'll remember your name. And that's just really cool. But I let you know, when you connect with people will continue that buzz. They'll talk about it on social media. They'll share the picture with you together on social media, something that you can share, something that they'll share with their family. Then it's not just a concert anymore. It really becomes that memory, that moment that you're looking for. And that's that power of that post-show engagement. And I'm a little weird, just to let you know, I do it pre-show as well. But that post-show interaction are where you turn those performances into that true relationship. And that really is how you take that customer service into customer experience, building that connection that keeps people coming back. So just to recap, that customer service really is about you as a musician, not anybody else, but you individually as that performer are taking immediate actions to engage your audience, to welcome them, make eye contact, guide them through the show, connect with them after the audience or after the performance. And when you do those kind of things consistently, they grow into the bigger thing that you really want. We want that customer service. It defines your brand and keeps your audience loyal. And I had that special section a little earlier about that it factor. If you focus on your customer service being authentic, it's not a mysterious quality. You're not born with it or not. It's something that you learn to connect with your audience in an authentic, joyful way. You're a human. You can connect with other humans. And that's what I define as an it factor. Now, if you want to dive deeper into these kind of ideas or get some personalized advice on elevating your performances, I'd love to hear from you over at intentionalmusicianship.com. You can always schedule a free call, and I'd love to meet with you and talk with you and build our community and help you build a show that helps leave a lasting impact. Again, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to join us for Intentional Musicianship.